to Who Am I Now? Redefining, liking, and growing your identity outside of motherhood. Before we begin, Angel's going to pop up some slides. I just want to remind you all that this session is being recorded. We're going to be offering some time for questions after our presentation. And you're welcome to use the chat during the session. Any questions that aren't answered during the session, we will make sure to tune into after during the Q&A. We would like you, if you'd like to say something, to use your hand raise button, the emoji reaction down at the bottom of your screen on a computer, or by clicking the more button if you're on your phone. And Nichola, do you have slides that you sent in for Huva?
No, I sent them to email, but I have them also on my screen.
Great. Okay, so they may be linked in documents if you had sent them in. So you can find them there in documents down in Huva along the bottom bar. And then I want to let you all know that this session can be found on page 23 of your program if you would like to be taking notes. All right, it is now my pleasure to introduce to you Nichola Henry. Nichola holds an master's degree in special education instruction from George Mason University and a BS in family and child services from Florida State. She's a powerful classroom instructional coach and life coach, providing a life-changing experience for her clients. Nichola is passionate about building, encouraging, and advocating the next generation of leaders to live lives full of joy, confidence, and purpose. Nichola's greatest accomplishment is having the confidence to offer her gift to the world, founding Henry Education Services, LLC. And Nichola, you are a mom as well.
Yes.
So
yes,
welcome.
Too. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Without further ado, I will let you share your screen and you can begin.
Let's do it. As y'all come in, let me know where you're tuning in from, as well as how many tiny humans you have. So I am coming from Phoenix, and I have two tiny humans, one who just turned 2, my daughter, and then I have a son who was born just 8 weeks ago. So I kind of had to tape my eyelids up to be here and alert, but I'm excited to share what I have with you. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see, make sure I have the right one. Okay, can y'all see my screen? Thumbs up if you can see it. Yes, thumbs up. Okay, cool. All right, so thank you so much for everyone coming in. I don't even know where the chat is, so if you're telling me where your tiny humans are, I'm sure they're beautiful and lovely and quiet, right? They're peaceful throughout this whole presentation. So yeah, but thank you so much for being here and allowing for me to share on this topic, whether you are a new mom tuning in or an expecting mom, or maybe even a dad. I truly believe that what I'm going to be sharing today is going to apply to every single area of where you are in the stage of your 4th trimester, 1st trimester, and beyond. So get ready for some powerful stuff. Okay. So what I wanted to do really quickly is first make sure your phones are on vibrate. Make sure your phones are also, your phones and your children are also set to silent and vibrate as well, because this session is all about you, right? I really want you, as best as you can, to really dig in to this moment and hold the space for yourself. And what I'd like to do is quickly just give you an opportunity to kind of get settled from the hustle and the bustle of the day and really kind of commit to being here fully. So go ahead and, if you can, put your hand on your heart. That's kind of where I feel things in my center. So put your hand on your heart if you would like to. You can close your eyes. I'm going to do that for myself and just take a deep breath in and one deep breath out and one more deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I want you to whisper to yourself, I'm ready. I'm ready, okay? Because you've shown up, right? You're here, you've tuned in. And so I wanna ask you, if you're ready, are you committed, right? Are you committed to making sure that your needs are gonna be met during the session? Are you committed to really learning what it takes to love and honor who you are as a person? I sure do hope so, because you are worth it. and you're going to be better for your families, for your communities, and those that you impact moving forward. Next slide, there we go. Just really quickly about who I am. Like I said, I like to put pictures of like the schools that I went to and where I've been to see if anyone else was from Florida potentially, or been to, you know, the DMV area. Let me know in the chat. I would love to connect with you as well. But this is my beautiful family as well. So that's my husband, Joshua. He is also the co-founder of Henry Education Services. I guess I can thank him a little bit for the last name there. But we, you know, both work together in tandem for what we do. And we, again, want to make sure that we're serving our communities and really teaching people and guiding them through things that they don't learn in school, right? How to have confidence, how to have a positive mindset, how to function in a relationship. Those are the things that we're passionate about that you may not enroll in college or even in high school. Like I said, those are my two tiny humans. So that's my daughter, Noah. She just turned 2. So I'm in the terrific 2s, as I'm choosing to call them, not the terrible 2s. But she's beautiful, she's brilliant, and just a ball of fire. And then that's my son there, Nehemiah. And he was born, like I said, 8 weeks ago on February 15th. And so this is my family who I absolutely love. They're the center and a huge part of who I serve with what I'm sharing with you today and why I serve as well. And then, like I said, this is me. And I absolutely love The Office, and I love gifts as well. So you're going to be seeing a little bit of that, you know, put into some of my slides here. And like I said, I'm extremely happy to be talking about this topic because it's kind of like the elephant in the room, right? It's something that might not naturally come up in conversation. And it's certainly not something that my mom sat down with me and said, hey, here's how you are a person outside of your motherhood. If you have had that conversation, that's awesome with your, you know, whoever raised you or your mom, but I certainly did not. So this has certainly been a journey for me. And I love this quote from Michael from The Office, where it says, I knew exactly what to do, but in a much more real sense, I had no idea what to do. And that's kind of how motherhood hit me. And so I remember distinctly, just to tell you a little bit about my story and how this topic kind of was birthed, is I was working with Sarah, who's here as a lactation consultant, trying to really learn how to just feed my daughter, right? Do what my body was supposed to do, what it was made to do, what it was born to do, all the things that we're told. And those things are all true. But I remember there was one night, and probably more than one night, if I'm being honest, where, you know, she's looking at me, she's crying and frustrated, and I'm crying right back at her. Like, we are both just crying it out, right? I couldn't produce enough milk. You know, my nipples were like on fire. If I'm being totally honest, she had a tongue tie. Like, it was just a very, very tough experience for me breastfeeding. And I had to be honest. I had moments where I thought, I'm really failing right now. Like, I signed up for this test, like I wanted the child, but I feel like I'm really failing as a mom. And I almost kind of feel like I'm on this treadmill where, like, I'm trying to perform as a mom, as a partner, as a business owner, as a member of my community and my church. And I kind of feel like I'm in this treadmill, but the scenery's never changing. Like, it's diapers, laundry, kind of sleep, diapers, laundry, sleep, and it's just a cycle. And so since then, I had to really think, like, it's all of that negative self-talk started to affect me. And like, come on, like, why are you struggling so much with this? Like, no one else seems to be struggling with trying to do this. Why are you? Or I would say things to myself like, you know, I just want my body back. Like, I just want that. For me, it was a huge identity piece of just having my body back. And really, for me, was my mind back. I don't know what it's called scientifically. I did some research on it, but when women have babies, even men in some of the studies, some of the gray matter in our brain changes. And so have you ever like walked into a room to literally forget where you were going or why you were even going there? And you had to like turn back and like be like, okay, what was I doing? Like, where was I going? Like, I was literally kind of blanking. And also there were times where literally, you guys, I forgot my husband's name. Like, it was that bad. I was speaking to someone and they asked me, what's his name? What does he do? And I was like, and it just like, it could not compute in my brain. And so for me, as someone who is a scholar, someone who loves learning, who has degrees, who wants to continue to get more degrees, when that part of my mind, even now and having the second child is not as sharp as it was before, I started to really get self-confident of like, what's going on? This is not me. What is happening? I'm not even sure if I like this, new person, this new mommy, as I am now. Let me know. Again, I'm going to try to pull up the chat here because I really want to be able to resonate with you guys too. And so if you've ever felt that, like, no shame, put that in the chat. Excuse me. So again, that negative self-talk started to pop up. Why are you struggling? No one else is. You can't produce milk because you ate too many cheeseburgers when you were pregnant. Like, that's what's affecting you. Like, I was really kind of digging in and trying to reflect and come up with the reason why I felt this guilt and really honestly the shame, thinking that it was my fault. And so what I'm going to share with you today really changed the game for me in terms of allowing my mind to be kinder to myself, allowing my mind to be more honest with myself, and also allowing my mind the freedom without the guilt to be able to discover who I was now as a mother, but now as a person behind the motherhood title. And so I'm so excited to jump right into this. So today, again, my one walk away for you, if you were to walk away with anything during this session to be successful, is so that you have at least one self-commitment that you're going to make to yourself to rediscover, to like and grow who you are and your identity outside of motherhood. I'm going to be honest, when I picked this, I'm like, man, that's a really long title, but honestly, it's kind of a process to kind of rediscover yourself, to like that person and to grow. And in order to have that commitment, I want to be transparent with you, is that true learning doesn't happen in the collection of information, but it's in the execution of it. I'm going to say that one more time because that was for somebody, right? True learning doesn't happen just in the collection of information, but in the execution of it. So when I say one self-commitment, I didn't list, I want you to walk away with strategies and things to do. Yes, I'm going to give you that, but truly a measure of my ability to do a great job here sitting before you, and for your ability to show up for yourself, to really be committed to at least one of these things that I'm going to share with you, because that is where you're going to begin to see the transformation. Okay, not just mentally, but seeing that action. So I kind of want to talk about the different stages that we have, right? We're a mother, right? We are mothers, but we're also people, or a person. We are a self behind that motherhood title. And sometimes it's hard to see that person because not only are we mothers, we're partners, we're a daughter or a son in many cases as well. And you can tap on all the other identities that we have. And so especially with that motherhood title, when we truly want to give our all, we truly are giving our all, sometimes we can neglect what it means to grow and be our best selves as well, to be able to better serve the people that we love. So one really major takeaway I want you to have right up front is that personhood and motherhood coexist. Okay, that doesn't mean I'm telling you to not be a mother, to abandon your family, to just leave them, even though you thought of it. I know, I'm in y'all's minds, okay? But even though you've thought of it, I'm not telling you to do that, okay? I don't want you to feel guilty for wanting to be able to nurture the person who is behind that motherhood title, because they can coexist. And it is okay. And sometimes it's not always equal, right? Sometimes we have to fully operate in our motherhood. But then there are also moments where we have the beauty of really growing and loving the person that we are, that makes our motherhood so much more special. Okay, so they coexist, and that is okay. So kind of free yourself of that. You've done nothing wrong. I have some moms who come to me and say, I feel bad. Like, I feel like I've done something wrong. I feel like I'm doing it wrong. There's no such thing. Know that they can coexist, and that's okay. So reasons why you're here. Let me know if you've said these things below. Again, I cannot see the chat, but humor me and put it below, and I'll review it later. Promise you I will. Okay, reasons why you're here. Have you ever said this? I don't feel confident the way I used to. I'll put up 2 hands. Oh, thank you, Sarah. I see the thumbs up, right? I don't feel confident the way that I used to. Have you ever said, what do I even enjoy just for me now that I'm a mom? Like, I can share things with my kids and moments with my spouse or partner or whoever, but like, just for me. right? And sometimes even for us who are married, that could have even been a hard question for us to answer before we had kids. Like, what does Nichola enjoy? Again, why does it feel so bad to invest in myself? And why is it so dang hard, even though I want to do it? Like, even if I wanted to begin to discover the person who's behind my motherhood title or whatever title you exist, like, why does it feel bad, and why does it feel like it's going to be so hard? Have you ever said those things before? And if you've had any others, put them in the chat too. And then one other thing is, again, I've said this many times to myself, like, is this it? Like, is this life? Like, motherhood? Is that it? Like, and not to like diminish like the joy and the beauty and the legacy that we have, but like, really, is this it? Between the tantrums, the diapers, the random spitting up, I mean, just the toys, like literally everything, utter chaos sometimes. Like, is this it? Is this what I have been preparing for? So if you look at that balloon it's on the left side of my screen, maybe on your right. But sometimes we can feel honestly depleted. And maybe that's why you're here too. You're like, I'm literally giving everything to everyone else that I can. And I have nothing else to give sometimes, but you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And you're like, right? Like, when am I going to get full again to be able to give out, right? So sometimes you feel this way. And even those dreams and desires that you've had before you had children as well, right? Not to say that those have to be the same dreams that you have now, but do you even dream? Do you think of goals that seem unimaginable and just give your mind an opportunity to see what's possible? Like, what would be possible if I did that? Sometimes, and oftentimes myself, we lose that ability to dream. And so I want to let you know that there is more. Okay. And not like you have to do more or you need to add more to your plate, but there is more inside of you that is wanting to be paid attention to, that's wanting to be nurtured, that's wanting to be acknowledged and grown. And so I think when you begin to press in the beauty of how that's going to transform your parenthood from now and beyond, is going to take you farther than I think you would have gone alone. So here's my first question. What is the basic definition of identity? Who can tell me in the chat? And while you're writing that, I'm going to figure out how to, oh, there we go. There's my chat. Okay. Yay. Okay. So tell me, what is the basic definition of identity? Anybody want to take a stab at it? I'm not going to like call you out like, you're wrong. Stay after class. Just what comes to mind? Anybody? Ashley says the attributes and qualities that make up a person. Jessica says identity is who you really are at your core. I love that. Anybody else? I'll wait a couple more seconds. Or you can be like, yeah, at Ashley, like, I'm with her. Yeah, what they said. Yeah. Yeah, do what they're saying. Yeah, okay. At its basic core, okay, you guys ready for this? Identity is just really who and what you are as a person. Okay, so I just took a picture of this driver's license. This is no one's. It came from Google. It's not even like the right side. I think they all have to be horizontal these days. But it's really just who and what you are, right? Like your name, how tall this person is, their skin color, their eye color, do they wear glasses, things like that, right? But that's not really the question we're answering, like who and what you are. We're answering really a deeper question. And I'm asking you, what else is there to identity? And Ashley touched on it a little bit, but what else is there to identity besides your hair color, how tall you are, and if you wear glasses or not? Like, what other words come to mind for you? Culture, your beliefs, certainly. Your thoughts and beliefs of who you are. Oh, okay, I see you, Jacqueline, taking it to another level. Your interests, your values, your personality. Look, you guys, oh my God, let's switch places. You guys got this, right? Right, your character, your personality, your likes and your dislikes, your gifts and your talents, your weaknesses even, and exploring those, your dreams, again, and your desires. as well. And the more that we're able to kind of like this woman, I'm going to pretend like she's a mom. Okay. The more that she's watering that plant and we can nurture that, the better that we can serve those who matter most, even outside of our children, our spouses, our community, those who we care for in our home, those that we don't know, the better that we'll be able to serve them if we can touch on these points. All right, so let's get into the good stuff. So redefining. First, it's going to be broken down into 3 sections: redefining, liking, and growing. Okay, so first for redefine, get your phones ready because I think some of this hopefully will be pretty good. You could take some screenshots or review this later as well. There is a recording. But how do we first kind of redefine or re-acknowledge, right? Invigorate. I'm not sure if that's a word, don't quote me. But we'll stick with redefine because that's what I wrote. Okay, redefine. I want you to date yourself. Okay, get to know the new you. And this goes way beyond self-care. Self-care is so important, right? It is such an important practice. But where I see some of the clients who I work with get it wrong is they're really kind of, if you think of this analogy, like if you're having open heart surgery, right? Like you have to prep, you're getting your chest cut open, there's so many organs you got to move around, you have to really get in deep, do some deep, extensive work, and you have to heal afterward. You're not just going to put a Band-Aid over it. Like you're fine, just put a Band-Aid, your doctor's going to be like, just walk out, you're fine, like post-op, or we just cut you open and things look good, just walk away. Right? What's going to happen is they're going to make sure that they're guiding you through each treatment process. And it's not just going to be self-care, but it's really going to be an opportunity to deeply, intimately begin to reconnect with who you were before. Okay? Things that really feed your soul, which are your thoughts, someone mentioned before, your desires and your emotions. And not just paying attention to them, but being able to grow them and foster them. Okay, so I really want you to date yourself. And literally, get out your calendar, not right now, right? Because you're in a session, okay? But after this session, hey, get your calendar out. Take whoever is the decision maker in your home, hubby, wife, whoever, and say, hey, I need, just an hour with just me to be able to grow myself. And that, I already see the bells going off. That's impossible. I can't spend time away from my, fill in the blank. I can't do that. But yes, you can. Yes, you can. And you're more than worthy that you should be. Okay. So date yourself and think about when you started dating someone, be it now or maybe in a previous relationship, right? You wanted to get to know what are your values, right? What do you stand for? What kind of music do you listen to? What kind of foods do you like? How do you like to travel? Do you like to stay at home? Are you an introvert? Things like that. Begin to reconnect with that person and ask yourself that question. As silly as it sounds, begin to do that. And so another way that you could do this for redefining as well, and I put some times at the bottom so you can kind of mentally say, okay, how long will this activity take me? I want you to take the Enneagram assessment. If you never have before, you're welcome because it's awesome. And if you have, go back and read those results. Okay, if you have, go ahead and tell me your Enneagram number in the chat. I am an Enneagram number 3, wing 2. And some of you who have not taken it are like, what is this cult thing she's talking about? Like, what is an Enneagram? Why are they numbers? It's really, really good. And let me quickly explain what the Enneagram, what? Yeah. So the Enneagram is essentially a distinct personality assessment. And we're a little bit of all of them. So there are 9 types, but we have a primary one that we kind of lead with most oftentimes with the people that we interact with and how we interact with ourselves. So there's a basic personality type. So for example, when I said I'm an Enneagram 3, that is my personality type. I can literally Google Enneagram type 3 from the Enneagram Institute and actually get a lot of really cool information about my specific number. And the reason why I love this one specifically is it's actually backed by research. There are a lot of personality types out there that are also good, like the DISC profile and the Myers-Briggs as well, but Enneagram is a personal favorite of mine, honestly, because the language that they use, everyday people can understand. So for the other ones, I'm like, what is all this psychological language? Like, I don't even know what this means, but it's really good to be able to get into. And so that Enneagram can really reveal questions like, what do I really like, right? What do I really need is probably a more important question. And what ticks me off? What makes me mad? What really lights me up? Instead of being able to answer the questions, what do my kids like, right? What do they need, right? How do I keep them peaceful and happy, right? Those are important questions, but I want you to begin to explore and look at those questions yourself, okay? And I am not an Enneagram like endorser person or whatever, so take it freely. There's lots of free assessments online. And really pay attention to what resonates most with your results and why. So that's something that you can do on your date. That, like I said, will take about 15 minutes. If you really want to go deeper or continue to go back to it, you can. But I think we can all make the choice to spare 15 minutes, be able to take it and look at those assessments if you've not already. Right? This is another activity that I like to do for myself, but also with my clients. It takes about 7 minutes on the longer end of the spectrum, so we can definitely take shorter, but it's called Wouldn't It Be Fun If? So what you're actually going to do is you're going to answer this question, right? You're going to go get a notepad or a pen, right? Or use your program, right, that you got in the mail, right? And you're going to answer this question, wouldn't it be fun if? And you're going to make a list of things that would be literally awesome to do, whatever comes top of mind. For me, horseback riding, going hiking, I don't know, going camping, driving to Sedona, taking an art class. Like I just listed off 5 really quickly. Pick things that come top of mind to you. Then I want you to pick one of those options to pursue. Okay, I like to tell my clients to set a timer for maybe a minute or 2 minutes, not too long when doing this activity, and literally brain dump. What would be some fun things for you to do on your date with yourself? Okay, pick one to pursue and then set a date and time to execute it, right? Go on Groupon, find a cheap deal, right? And do what you need to do there, right? Or just go, just Google, things to do in Arizona that align with what you want to do, see how much it costs, get the babysitter or whatever you need to do and set that time and really make it happen. Make sure that you also obviously communicate to your partner what you're going to be doing as well. And I think I know it's going to encourage them too, right? So really think. And the reason why I have you set a timer and the reason why I ask this question is, wouldn't it be fun if, is more often than not, you're going to think about things and list things that are top of mind for you that really connect with how you want to grow and how you want to get to know yourself, right? You're not going to be like, I really want to be able to get my PhD in behavioral psychology at the University of Pennsylvania. And right, you're not going to go deep. You're going to be like, oh, I really just want to go take an art class or something, or go paint some pottery or something, right? And you're going to say, wow, I haven't done that in so long, but that would literally be awesome. Maybe that's the one I should choose. So your mind is going to kind of pick the things that most often connect with you and resonate with you. And I would say choose one of those and pick them first. Cool. All right. The next one is another favorite of mine. It's called the self-identity meet and greet. So I'm going to ask you this question, the same question I would ask my clients. If you were to meet yourself, just you're walking by and you saw you, right? You saw yourself 1 year from now, what thoughts would you have? What desires will you have? What emotions will you experience? Right? I want you to be able to pick one of these and start operating as that person. So here's what I mean. And this is also backed by research as well. When we say we have a goal, right? Say we have a goal that's maybe a year from now or 2 years from now, but we're gonna say we're meeting ourselves a year from now. So we're gonna pick that year-long goal. We're gonna say, oh, I need to have this in place, and I need to do this in place so that I can be that person, right? Be more confident, love myself more, connect with my family more, right? So we kind of operate in this, I got to have this and I got to do this in order to be this person. And I'm curious to know, what if you approached it the other way? What if you could think and have the emotions and the desires of that person right now and be that person, so that you could begin to do the things that fuel that person and have the things that you want to have at the end of that experience. So it's switching your mind from a lack mentality of I don't have this and I haven't been doing this, but to a, oh wow, I get to have that. Like I could have that right now. I could be doing that right now. I could be that person right now. And so when we begin to use our mind to be able to think in that way and operate as that way, our brain looks for evidence to be able to prove that to be true. So then we start to make decisions based on our thoughts of who we want that person to be and how we want them to operate. Right? So again, if you were to meet yourself a year from now, you're going to say, wow, what thoughts will that person have? Start adopting that thought right now, today, right? What desires would that person have? What will they have? Start having that desire right now. And what emotions will that person experience? Joy, happiness, more love, confidence, right? Start having those emotions right now. And start practicing that right now. And I guarantee you, if you approach the mentality of you can have it right now versus I can have it a year from now and who I want to be and how I want to get to know myself, you're going to get there a lot faster and a lot happier. Okay, let me know if this is driving with you, if it's resonating with you. Give me an amen. I'm here. Like, let me know. So I get a little feedback to see how you guys feel. Amen. Okay, I'm with it. Okay. Now you've kind of redefined yourself, right? Rediscovered yourself, right? You're re-engaging who you are just as a person, right? And you're like, okay, how do I even like this person, right? Like who I was before motherhood and those goals that I had, for me personally, didn't transfer over, right? And so now I'm like, if I'm redefining who I want to be just as a person and my own goals, and I'm discovering that, how do I actually like that person? I'm glad you asked. This is a 1 minute activity, and I want you to show yourself appreciation. And this is what I call the 3 by 3 by 3 rule. I should really say method because it's not really a rule, but the 3 by 3 by 3 method. So what I want you to do to be able to really like this person that you're engaging and this person that you're getting to know, AKA yourself, I want you to pick an affirmation, which for those of us who might not know in the room, that is a statement that affirms who you are and or who you want to be. So I want you to pick an affirmation. And with that affirmation, sometimes, like I said, with some of my clients, they'll just say, yeah, I just say affirmations every morning. You know, I just say them like once or twice, or I write them down, and then that's kind of it, right? And depending on the stage in which they are in trying to rediscover themselves, that's not enough for them, right? I just got out of a session where a doctor was talking about like pills that she has, you know, that women might take when they're in their prenatal stage and postnatal stage as well. And you can't be like, yeah, I'm just going to take it for like a week and then I should be good, right? Like my hormone levels will be better. No, right? You have to constantly be taking that, checking in with your doctor, getting tests to assess, are these things working? Do you need it anymore? Do you need to wean off? Right? So for these affirmations, for women who come to me, they feel almost defeated and like it's not working, but it's the way in which they're doing it. So for these affirmations, I want you to first say it 3 times a day. Okay, so it's morning, sometime midday, and at night. Okay, I am the person who likes to eat lunch by myself. So I will do it in the morning. I will do what I need to do with the tiny humans that I've created, you know, because it's usually chaotic, right? And I'm going to do it in a time that's most calm for me. That's usually during nap time or right before it, if they're not too hungry and I put on a show. I do it midday, and then I do it at night before bed. So you got to do it 3 times, right? And in each of those intervals, I want you to say and repeat that affirmation to yourself 3 times. So here's an example affirmation. I am worthy of it all. a lot of moms who come to me that feel like they're not worthy of themselves, of their roles, right? And I'm like, okay, that started way before motherhood, but here we are now, right? It's like, let's talk about it. I am worthy of it all. So they're going to say that to themselves in the morning 3 times, in the afternoon 3 times, and at the end of the day 3 times. And you're like, okay, but what's the other 3? You're going to add some movement in there. Okay. All right. So, for example, I am worthy of it all. Like I said, my heart is kind of where I really feel things. It's my center. And I'm going to do 3 different movements every time I say it. So I might say, I am worthy of it all. And I might like lift my hands, like receiving it. I am worthy of it all. And I might just like put my hands like Superman pose, like I am worthy of it all. Like this makes me feel really like confident and strong, right? If you're just like in the morning, like I'm worthy of it all. I'm just really worthy. Like, well, what's for dinner tonight? I mean, I'm worthy of it, right? Like your mind starts to wander. Your body is not engaged. When your body begins to move, your thoughts begin to align, right? And then your attitude begins to change. So you're going to say those 3 affirmations 3 times a day with 3 separate movements every single time, and watch who you are, who you believe, who you want to be as a person, as an individual, begin to transform. Okay. Here's another activity that is about 7 minutes or so. And I want you to let others show you love. Because I guarantee you, if you do what's in the redefining stage, you're going to begin to see some shifts and some like, okay, mom, I see you, right? Your 2-year-old might not say that, but they're going to start to see something out of you, right? Begin to be birthed, begin to really show itself. That is that rediscovering phase that's coming out of you. So I want others to be able to acknowledge you as well, acknowledge how much you've grown. So ask them a question. If, if they're old enough to be able to respond and say, just, why do you love me? It's just a simple question. Why do you love me? And I guarantee you, they're going to flood you with things that they love about you and what you do for them and how you make them feel. You're just starting that conversation with them. And yes, it's directed maybe to your relationship with their motherhood, but remember, you're a person behind that. And so those qualities that you bring are going to be really beautiful and powerful, and they're going to be able to acknowledge your growth. And the blushing and the smiling are extra. Okay, that's like an added bonus that comes to this too, right? So let them to be able to show you love. Be looking at each other in the eye. If you can, put the electronics to the side. Just really have that special moment. And you're going to be compelled to be able to affirm them, affirm the child that you've created and your loved one as well, and who they are. And it's really going to be beautiful. And you're going to be like, man, yeah, I am strong. I am pretty. I do make the best peanut butter and jelly on the planet. I like myself, right? That is the liking, okay? Begin to like yourself. It's okay. You're not saying everyone else is terrible. You're just acknowledging you and what you bring to the table as a mom and as a person. Cool. I forgot to mention one other thing. I want to go back really quickly on the affirmations as well, is to really take this to the next level, is to say these in the mirror, looking at yourself. I did my hair today, so it looks all beautiful, but I guarantee you, I did not wake up like this, okay? And you better believe I'm saying I am worthy of it all, even though I look like a hot mess, okay? I'm gonna be doing my affirmations. So do them in the mirror, and it really kind of elevates it as well. Just want to throw that out there. But yes, show yourself appreciation. Let others show yourself appreciation. And the final step here in growing, you've come so far, right? You've redefined who you are. It doesn't happen overnight. It might take 6 months. It might take 9 months. It might take a year. That's okay. You are beginning to really like this person and really enjoy these dates, right? Someone might be like, okay, you're taking way too many dates, okay? Like, I want you to get to that stage where you're like, I just love me, right? After you redefine and like, how do you really continue to grow this person? I'm glad you asked.
Nicola, I need to
Yes,
interrupt you really quickly just to let you know that we've got about 10 minutes total left in this session. So
perfect.
if we want to leave a little bit of time for questions, because I think there
Yeah.
probably will be some here for you.
Woohoo! Okay, let's do it. Okay, last couple slides, I promise. It's something else I called I times I. And really to grow this person inside of you, I call it integrity. Oh, I put intention plus integrity. Man, fun fact, my husband teaches algebra and it would be really upset at me to see this slide, but that's fine. Okay, just pretend it's a multiplication sign. Intention times integrity, right? And this really comes down to holding that commitment to be able to practice what I've shared with you today. I'm really holding that. You know, a lot of people, not just moms, say, I just struggle with being committed. Like I start, it's good for like a week, maybe. And then like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Right. And so I really want you to, one, focus on the intention. Like, what are you doing? Look at the strategies that I shared. Don't try to do them all. Pick one and stick with it, right? Pick one. What are you going to do? Think about when are you going to do it? Right? What do you need prepared in order to do that? Babysitter, that budget, like location, like what do you need in order to make that happen? Excuse me. And then have integrity, right? Show up as the person that you want to be able to grow, right? Because I can guarantee you every single person in this room would say, I want to be the best example for my kids. And you are. Like, you are doing that right now. So I want you to make sure that when you are committed to yourself and being the best person for yourself, you don't sell yourself short, right? The wonderful way you're showing up for your kids and for everyone else, you can show up for yourself, and that's okay. Okay, so that is the intention. Sorry, let me go back to my slide here. The intention was just the what you're doing, and that's like, when is it happening? What is the activity? How am I planning for this date for myself, for this time for myself? And then the integrity of like, how am I going to execute it and why? Okay. And some of you are like, but I'm waiting for the right time. I'm waiting until my next child. Right? I want to add more kids and then I'll focus on myself, right? I'm waiting till my child is older, you know, just whatever it could be. And yes, there are obviously situations in which it might not be the most optimal time. But I guarantee you, if we probably dug a little deeper, there's a little bit of fear behind it, of beginning again and of starting. Okay, so I want you to know that the beauty of life is a little bit of chance and a whole lot of choice. The beauty of life is a little bit of chance and a whole lot of choice. So I have some moms that are like, okay, like when is this supposed to like feel right? Like I'm maybe doing things, but like when is it supposed to feel good? And you just have to choose again to adopt that attitude, to be that person right now. Your brain and your actions will catch up. So to end, I want you to be like this balloon, right? You're going to go from like this depleted person who is trying their best, doing their best, right? But really needs to be able to begin to be filled. I want you to really hone in on these, to pick one and grow. And the truth is, you don't become the best parent that you want to be or even needed, right? Some of us needed better parents by ignoring yourself. It just doesn't happen, right? That's the truth. We can't ignore our needs and think that we're going to be the best parent or the parent that we wanted to be for our kids. Really quickly, the 3 F's: lean on family, fellow moms, and faith. In doing this as well, you're going to need them throughout this process. I'm going to kind of skip this because that's what this whole conference has been about community. So just a quick reminder to tap into those. And then, yeah, time for Q&A. I did create a little journal prompt email series. So if you want to be able to visit that link, you can. And essentially, I came up with 5 really important questions that you can ask yourself to go deeper. So if you would like to, you can visit that and just subscribe, and I'll send it out on Monday. And the reason why I do it 1 per day is because I don't want you to answer all 5 in one day. And then you're like, now what? It's like, really take your time, 1 a day, journal it out, write it out, draw it out. And yeah, that's it for me. Sarah, questions? Woo! Thank you guys. I'm like sweating. I'm not gonna lie. Like, woo! Good sweating though. Good sweating.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Nichola.
Thank you.
Everybody, I think, is just kind of letting it sink in, honestly. I don't think it's that we don't have questions. I think we're just kind of like, wow, yeah. I see Jessica has her hand up.
Hi,
Go
Jessica.
ahead.
You're the one with the 8-week-old, is that right? Yay! Okay. Hi.
You can go ahead and speak if you'd like. Did you have a question?
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't mind
No.
the baby grunting in the background.
You're good.
So I just typed in the chat also. I know earlier's better. I know all the things about creating time and space for myself, but realistically, like I have an 8-week-old. If I have an hour, I'm sleeping. So when is a realistic timeline to start maybe thinking about creating more space? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's real. Because I'm napping too myself. We both have the 8-week-old. That's a really good question. I would say honestly, when it feels most natural, right? I don't want it to come from like a pressure of like I need to do this. Hi, baby. But when their sleep patterns maybe begin to become a little bit more consistent, I know there's like random growth spurts in there. So you're like, just when you think you got it down, you're like, nope, just kidding. Back to 2
Right.
hours a night. Great. Right. But do it at a time where maybe if you, I don't know if you have like in-laws nearby or just a friend or someone, if you trust them, I know COVID is a thing as well, of beginning to say, okay, if I can pump some breast milk or if they're taking formula or whatever it might be, and I can either choose to take a nap and that's totally fine, but you're like, maybe if I could watch them for an extra hour, like, and I only want to nap for an hour, what could I do? So I know that's like not like at 12 weeks, at their 12-week appointment, that's when you should do it, right? But definitely get your rest. Get your rest. Like I said, do not skip the self-care part of the process, but when you begin to see that they're a little bit more predictable and you have a little bit of that extra time, I would say that is when it would probably feel most natural. It's a great question. I hope that answered it for you.
I think too, not putting pressure of time limits necessarily, and you gave some great options that take 5 minutes, or take 7 minutes. Like I think when I think self-care, I think like an hour and a half. Well, I don't have 90 minutes. I never have 90 minutes. So I love that you put them in bite-sized pieces for us. I think that's really helpful. I have a question in the chat. So I'll just say it out loud. So from someone who suffers from PPD or MPPA, how can you get past those roadblocks to help love yourself more?
Ooh, that's a really, really great question. The first one I would say is obviously continue to consult if you are with your healthcare provider. Right, that is a person who's going to be seeing you more consistently and who may be able to see more of that full picture of what's going on as you begin to share more. If you are with that or are seeing someone, but how do you get past those roadblocks? One, like I said, it starts with loving yourself more. I think sometimes when we have those struggles and we feel like it's not working, it's not because motherhood is the issue. It's because it's just highlighted what was deep down inside before that journey began. So giving yourself grace there. And then those affirmations are really good. That is probably something that a counselor would tell you too, to be able to do that more consistently. Like I said, that 3x3 rule is really good. And if you have a moment where you're in a roadblock and it's hard to get over, just like, wow, this is really frustrating. Like it sucks, but like, I'm just going to keep trying. Like, I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying. And oftentimes that trying is you actually just being successful, right? These strategies that I showed you are to say like, just eliminate guilt, never feel it ever. Like, and if you do, something's wrong, right? I just feel like sometimes guilt is just a part of most of our journeys. Not everyone feels it, but sometimes it does. And so saying, you know what, this is okay. This is just highlighting that I just need to love myself more, and it's a dance, and that's okay. So I hope that's helpful. One, working with your provider. Two, being consistent with those affirmations and knowing that if you come against that roadblock, we can often be harder on ourselves because like, oh, I thought I dealt with that. I thought I, pushed that away. And it's like, no, it's okay. Like I know how to handle it better now and using those tools.
Thank you so much, Nichola. I do want to direct, Nichola, your attention to the fact that there are a couple of questions in the Whova session Q&A for you. I will go ahead and pop that link also in to the chat now, but now we need to say thank you and goodbye because we have one last session of the day before we end up closing out this conference. So thank you so much, Nichola, for being here with us.
Thank you.
You provided some great opportunities. We really appreciate you. Check out her journal prompts there. I have put the link in the chat for the journal prompts. And then I would like to let you know what's coming up next. So coming up here in 5 minutes, we are going to have our last session. Right here in room 2, we have Bonnie Wiscombe, who's going to be giving us some great ways to escape those pervasive postpartum emotional slumps, which actually might tie into what Nichola was just sharing about. And we had some questions about. In room 1, we're going to have the privilege of sharing with you a sound healing meditation led by Gretchen Bickert and Jennifer Hoprich together. If you've been to our conferences in the past, you know this is a dynamic duo. So go check that out in room 1. And then finally in room 3, we have Robin Wilhelm, and she's going to help us navigate all the important intimacy after birth issues. All of them. Okay, all of them. Maybe not all of them. That might be a conference in and of itself. All right, so with that, we are going to go ahead and dismiss you all. If you're staying here in room 2 for Bonnie's presentation, Stop, Drop, and Roll, you can just stay and hang out with us. We're going to pop me, Angel, and Bonnie into a breakout session to chat and make sure we don't have any questions. Nichola, thank you once again. We appreciate having you. Let's chat soon. And I'm going to ask everybody to mute yourselves just for the next couple minutes so we can all get organized. All right, see you in a moment.